सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. In the last class, we have completed chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogam. Today, we will do the summary of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogam. So this 14th chapter belongs to third Shatkam. The third Shatkam, Paramatma is explaining Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. This is the quintessence of Upanishads. And this important portion is explained in chapter 13, 14 and 15. They are very, very important chapters. They give you the very essence of Upanishads. And chapter 16 and 17, they talk about Jnana Yoga Sadhana, how to acquire Atma Jnanam. All these methods are discussed in chapter 16 and chapter 17. Jnana Yogam facilitates Atma Jnanam. So, Atma Jnanam is explained in 13, 14, 15. Though these chapters are very small, they are very profound because they directly teach self-knowledge, Atma Jnanam. This chapter called Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogam. Paramatma talked about three gunas and he described about these three gunas and how they bind and how to grow beyond these three gunas. This is the essence of this chapter, the nature of three gunas and how to overcome these three gunas. By Gunatraya, how to become Gunatita Atma. That is the subject matter of this chapter. That is why the chapter is titled Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogam. This entire chapter can be understood in 4 different topics. The first topic being introduction, which is covered from sloka number 1 up to 4. Then the second topic is Traigunya Visleshana, the description of three gunas. This is covered from sloka number 5 up to 18. And the third topic is Gunatita, how to become Gunatita. This is covered by 2 slokas, sloka 19 and sloka 20. Then the fourth one is Gunatita Lakshanam or Sadhana. That means the character of a Gunatita Jnani and how to become a Gunatita. These are covered from sloka number 21st up to 27. So we will cover these 4 topics, topic by topic. The first topic is introduction, which is from sloka number 1 up to 4. This chapter talks about Atma Jnanam. That is what we understood. Atma Jnanam gives you liberation. That is why this is a very important chapter. Upanishads talks about the Laukika Vidya and also Atma Vidya. That means it talks about the knowledge which helps you in day-to-day life and also the knowledge which gives you liberation. So, the mundane knowledge and the Paravidya, that is the knowledge of Atma, knowledge of self, Atma Jnanam. So, there are different names given to mundane knowledge and Atma Vidya. Upanishad says Aparavidya for mundane knowledge, and for Atma Jnanam Paravidya. The 9th chapter talked about this Paravidya, which is Atma Jnanam, as Rajavidya. Why Paravidya is called Rajavidya? By this Vidya, a sadhaka can become liberated from samsara, and it gives you moksha. The other mundane knowledge, however you learn, you feel that you are still, not full and complete. You feel that you have to learn more and more. That kind of inadequacy you find in Laukika Vidya or mundane knowledge. It will not give you Purnatvam, the completeness. In Raja Vidya you get to know the absolute Brahma. Therefore, you get to know about the absolute Brahma, and it talks that the very Brahma is your real self. Therefore, you can acquire that completeness. And the sadhaka, the seeker, gets the liberation here and now. And after the fall of the body, he is blessed with Videha Mukti. While he is alive and kicking, he enjoys Jivan Mukti. At the fall of the body, he is entitled with Videha Mukti. He is not subject to Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Sarge Pinopajayante Pralaye Navyadanti Cha. So, whoever acquires this Atma Jnanam will never come back, will never take birth again, will never die again and again. This is what Bhagavad Gita pronounces in this very chapter. So, this is the greatest knowledge, and this knowledge gives you liberation. So, in this, Bhagavan explains Jagat Karanam is Brahma. Bhagavan is the cause of the Srishti. In Bhagavan, there are two aspects. One is called sentiency, other is called insentiency. So, Chetanatvam and Jadatvam. Chetana Achetana Tattva Dvaya Militaha Ishwaraha. So, this Chetana and Achetana Tattvas are mentioned in different terminology, different names in different chapters. In 7th chapter, we called Chetana Tattvam as Paraprakriti, Achetana Tattvam as Aparaprakriti. In 13th chapter, the Chetana Tattvam is mentioned as Purusha and Achetana Tattvam is mentioned as Prakriti. In general, in Upanishads, the Chetana Tattvam is called Brahma, Achetana Tattvam is called Maya. Achetana Tattvam is the material principle, Chetana Tattvam is sentient principle. So this Brahma plus Maya is Ishvara. Upanishad talks about the right combination of Chetana and Achetana Tattvas. The entire Jagat and the individual have come out of this Ishvara. From this very explanation, every individual is a combination of both Chetana and Achetana principles, both material principle and sentient principle. The very fundamental rule is, whatever be the cause, that cause will pervade the karyam. That means the finished product. Like children will imbibe the resemblance of the parents. So, according to this sutram, Vyashti or Jivi, an individual, is a combination of Prakriti and Purusha. We have seen different names for this. That is Brahma plus Maya, Chetana plus Achetana. This is the combination. In technical jargon, we can call this as Atma Anatma mixture. Anatma has come from Prakriti, Atma is Purushaha. So, this Prakriti has got three components. It will have three gunas. And since the body, mind, sense complex is made up of Prakriti, it will have three gunas. It is Sagunam. So it is a combination of three gunas. So these three gunas are Sattva guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Apart from this Anatma, apart from this Prakriti, Atma is also present. For Atma, alternative words used here in Gita and Upanishads are Purusha, Chetana Tattvam, Nirguna Brahma, Sakshi Chaitanyam, witnessing consciousness. So, I am is understood as a combination of Saguna Ahankaram plus Nirguna Sakshi. That means ego plus the Sakshi Chaitanya. This ego alone cannot do transactions. Similarly, witnessing consciousness alone cannot do transactions. It is the combination of both witnessing consciousness and ahankara or ego together does these transactions. Out of these two, who am I? I am the Sakshi Chaitanya. This is the important thing. So, the entire chapter focuses that you raise your understanding that you are not the body, mind, sense complex, you are the Sakshi Chaitanya. So, that shift should happen in your mind. So, that is the idea. Sakshi is permanent and whole and complete. And that is my very Swarupa. That is my very nature. That is my very self. And ego is temporary and it is subject to change. That is not my reality. At the same time, I cannot totally ignore ego, ahankara, because without ahankara, the pure consciousness cannot do transactions. So, I have to use ahankara, and using the ahankara I can do transactions. Only thing is I should not get attached with ahankara. I should not give too much of importance to ahankara. I am not ahankara, I am sakshi. I use the ropes called ahankara, and with that I will do transactions. That means the Prakriti Purusha is the combination from which the entire creation occurred. In the same way, I am the combination of Prakriti and Purusha. Now, Traigunya Visleshana, the analysis of three gunas. It is explained from sloka number 5 up to 18. In these slokas, Krishna Paramatma talked about how ahankara is expressed these three gunas. If you don't understand these gunas, then there is a danger that these gunas will bind you. For that matter, if you don't understand anything in this creation, if you don't use them properly, there is a possibility that those things may create danger for you. For example, fire. Is fire a boon or a curse? It all depends on how you use it. Is electricity a boon or a curse? Same answer. So, on its own, it is neither a boon nor a curse. It all depends on how you utilize them. So, if you use them properly, it is a boon. If you misuse them, it is a curse. So, ahankara is prakriti plus chidabhasa. So, it will have 5 different aspects. One is called lakshanam, bandhana prakara, lingam, gati, phalam. Lakshanam means definition, how each guna is defined. So that is called lakshanam. Sattvagunam lakshanam is prakasatmakam. Rajoguna lakshanam is ragatmakam. Tamoguna lakshanam is mohanatmakam. This is how in this chapter Paramatma defined these 3 gunas. Sattvaguna will create a lot of interest in knowledge. A person who is predominantly sattvic in nature, his organs of knowledge, his jnanendriyas are very sharp. Intellect is very sharp. Rajoguna pradhana person will have a lot of interest in doing something, is more interested in action, is always into different activities because his karmendriyas are more active, they are more dominant. For a sattvaguna pradhana person, jnanendriyas are dominant. For a rajoguna pradhana person, karmendriyas are dominant. If you look at a tamoguna pradhana person, he is totally different from both these categories. He is lethargic. He doesn't do anything. He whiles away the time. Then the second topic is bandhana prakara. Bandhana means how they bind a person. Prakara means method. How a particular guna binds a person is discussed in this particular aspect. Jnana sangena sattvam badnati. Karma sangena rajaha badnati. Nidra sangena tamaha badnati. That means sattvaguna will bind a person towards jnanam, knowledge. Rajoguna will bind a person towards karma, towards actions. Tamoguna will bind a person towards inertness, lethargy, and laziness. For a person who is having jnana sangam, who is bound by sattvaguna, he will be craving to learn something. He will accumulate a lot of books. He wants to sit in a place where there is a lot of light. Such a person is called a bookworm. So, the Rajoguna person will be always outwards. He will be always out of the house and he is always into some work or other. Whereas a Tamoguna person, Tamoguna dominant person is totally lethargic. He will not do anything. He will be, idling the time. He will be with Nidra Sangam, Tamaha Badnati. So Lingam is the third aspect. Lingam means an indicator or characteristics by which we can identify whether a person is sattvic in nature, rajasic in nature, or tamasic in nature. So, a person who is sattvic is more into studies, more into thinking. So, he's always, he always sharpens his mind. He's more introvert. Whereas a Rajoguna dominant person is always extrovert. He does lot of social work. He is into lot of work. He doesn't idle. He doesn't sit quiet. He will not take rest. So, this is the thing. Tamoguna person, there is no pravrutti nor nivrutti. There is always a kind of inactivity. He doesn't do anything. Then the third aspect is called gati. This is after death. What will be the fate of these three personalities? A person who is sattvic, he will go to higher realms of heaven. A person who is rajasic will will be born again in the Mathyaloka, Madhyamagati. For a Sattvaguna person, Urdhvagati. For a Rajoguna person, Madhyamagati. That is the mortal world, Mathyalokam. For a Tamoguna person, Adhogati. That means all the lokas of punishments. Karmanu bandhini manushaloke. A Tamoguna person will go to lower lokas. That means Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Talatala, Patala. These are the lokas. Phalam. Gati means after death, whatever the loka is entitled. That's what we talked about just now. Phalam means while he is alive and kicking, what is the benefit he gets? Sattvic person will have punyam and knowledge. A Rajoguna person will have a lot of pain, lot of sorrow, and he will be always greedy. A Tamoguna person will always be in ignorance, and he is always in conflict. A Sattvaguna Pradhana person, his sensory organs are very active and he acquires a lot of knowledge. A Rajoguna Pradhana person is greedy and he wants to do lot of work. Karma Vriddhi will be there. Because he is doing lot of work, there will be lot of pain and sorrow also in the process. A Tamoguna Pradhana person will have pramada, that means asraddha, he is negligent, he is into delusion, he will not have interest in anything, and he is always in ajnana. Now, the third topic is how to grow beyond these three gunas, gunatita lakshanam, gunatita sadhana. So, Paramatma explained this in sloka number 19 and 20. So he said that all three gunas are required in the beginning. So a person may start with tamoguna, and from tamoguna he has to raise to rajoguna. From rajoguna he must raise to sattvaguna. So this is the journey. So, he should start with sakama karma. In the beginning, he is tamasic in nature. Let us imagine. He doesn't have interest in anything. So, to awaken that person, Shastra gives lot of karmas. Shastra proposes lot of karmas. If you do this karma, you will get this. Shastra also shows some bait. Shastra also puts some bait. So, to acquire the laukika palas, the mundane benefits, you have to do certain activities. They may be selfish. So, he has to start doing some work. So, this is like, the advertisements. They they prompt a person who is lethargic, who is in delusion, and prompt him towards the work. So this is the first thing. This is called sakama karma, a karma with some kind of interest, some kind of selfish interest. Then nishkama karma. So after he performed sakama karma for quite some time, then slowly Shastra says that he will escalate to nishkama karma. Now he is used to do some work. He became rajasic in nature. So rajoguna, there are two varieties. They are more rajasic, tamasic. The proportion is rajasic, tamasic and sattvic. Sattvic is the least portion. From rajasic, tamasic, sattvic, he will become rajasic, sattvic and tamasic. When sattvaguna becomes the next important feature, he will turn out to be nishkama, karma pradhana person. He does work for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the entire world. So this is what Shastra does. From a totally inactive person, it makes him rajasic, from rajasic to sattvic. So from this, slowly Shastra brings him to upasana. After doing karma for quite some time, Shastra prompts him to come to upasana yoga. That means from guna kshatriya, one has to become guna brahmana. A guna brahmana's life is sattvic in nature. So he is more into the upasana. So we have got varnashramas. In Grihasthasrama, we do lot of karmas, lot of activity. From Grihasthasrama, we go to Vanaprastha. When we enter Vanaprastha, we leave the house. In Vanaprastha, you need not leave the house. You have to change the lifestyle. You have to become more introvert. You have to concentrate more inwardly. You have to reduce work and do more upasana. You have to become sattvaguna pradhana. So after karma yoga, if you go to upasana yoga, there is no worry. Therefore, whatever is the seva he wants to do, he does. He did it. And now it is the time to shift to upasana. So when he comes to Vanaprastha, his body will not have sufficient energy to do work. So at that time, it is the upasana which helps him to grow spiritually. Then he has to acquire the knowledge and do nididhyasanam. The next one is jnana yogam. So far the journey of the seeker is quite easy. From tamoguna to rajoguna, rajoguna to sattvaguna. He has transformed. Now, from sattvaguna, the Shastra says, one has to become gunatita. This journey is totally different. You have to become gunatita. That means you should become attributeless. You cannot change sattvaguna into nirguna, attributeless. If you have to change sattvaguna, either you can change it to tamoguna or rajoguna, but not attributelessness. So from Gunatraya, how to become Nirguna. That is what this chapter talks about. When a person becomes sattvic in nature, naturally he leaves the karma and upasana. They help you to acquire sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. They give you the qualification to acquire the knowledge. So the person must come to jnana yoga and should understand self-knowledge. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupasyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigachyati. So, in this particular sloka, the word vetti is very important. Vetti means one who understands. What to understand? One who understands the Purnatvam. Purnatvam one can acquire through knowledge. How to acquire knowledge, Paramatma did not mention here, because in the 4th chapter it is already mentioned. So if you are tamasic in nature or rajasic in nature, if you are having an ignorant mind will remain with that ignorance. Knowledge will not come on its own. Knowledge will not, come suddenly as a flash. Knowledge will not come through meditation. Knowledge will come only through Guru and Shastra. So, one has to go to Guru and seek knowledge. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadechanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Jnana yoga is not that you listen to Guru on and often in fits and starts. No. You have to expose yourself to a Guru consistently for a long time. This is what we call Sravanam. You have to go to a Srotriya Brahmanishta Guru and expose yourself to his teaching consistently for a long time. And then do Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Then it will drive away your ajnana. What is that ajnanam? Ajnanam is that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the sense organs. This was the strong feeling I had before I got exposure to the self-knowledge through Guru. After I got the knowledge, I understood that I am not the body, mind, sense complex. I am the very Sakshi Chaitanya. So, now the question is how to become Gunatita by Sravanam. The body, mind, sense complex is ever Saguna. They can never become Nirguna. And the witnessing consciousness is ever Nirguna. They cannot acquire any guna. So there is no need to change Sakshi Chaitanyam into Nirguna. Then what to do? I have to get rid of that Sarira Abhimana. I am so much attached to this body, mind, sense complex. So that attachment I have to handle. I should know that I am not the body, mind, sense complex. I am not the body, mind, sense complex. This body, mind, sense complex is given to me as an instrument in this Janma by Paramatma temporarily. I am that Sakshi Chaitanyam. This body, mind, sense complex are agantuka surupam. They are temporary and transient only for this janma. I see this entire world with my spectacles. If I remove the spectacles, what happens? I don't disappear. What will happen? Whatever I see through the spectacles will not appear. It will all become hazy. In the same way, when I understand I am not the body, mind, sense complex, I don't disappear. Without body, mind, sense complex, I cannot transact with this world. So, how I can understand I am not the body, mind, sense complex? This you are experiencing every day in your sushupti. In your sushupti, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the sense organs. Yet you are there and you enjoyed that calmness. You don't know who you are, yet you are there and you enjoyed that sushupti avastha. So that means you are the Sakshi Chaitanyam. You are the witnessing consciousness to that very avastha. So that is your real nature. That witnessing consciousness is your real nature. Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayo jnanam etta jnanam matam mama. I am not the body. I use the body as an instrument. I am not the mind. I use my mind as an instrument. So, all the attributes, they belong to body, mind, sense complex. All these attributes, Rajogunam, Tamogunam, then Sattvagunam, all these things, they belong to body, mind, sense complex. They do not belong to Sakshi Chaitanyam. Witnessing consciousness has nothing to do with these gunas. Whatever I experience, whatever attribute I get, they all belong to the very vastu. Whatever I experience, that experience belongs to the very object which gives me the experience. It is not me. If I see a green color book, that green color is not mine. Green color is to the book. Green color belongs to the book. So in the similar way, so all these gunas I am witnessing, all these gunas are not my nature. They are the nature of the body, mind, sense complex. So my real nature is gunatita. Gunanetanatityatrim dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkaihi vimukto mrutamasnute. The body, mind, sense complex will have trigunas. So, this will have gati. For body, mind, sense complex, we have gati. What is that gati? Urdhva gati, madhyama gati, adho gati. For nirguna atma, what type of gati will be there? There is no gati. I am that all-pervasive Chaitanya Tattvam. From me alone, this body, mind, sense complex got sentiency. And it will have sustenance and ultimately it will resolve unto me. Their attributes will not taint me. I am Asanga Sakshi Chaitanya. I am taintless Sakshi Chaitanya. With this Jnana Nishta, if I can stay, that is the moksha. That is the very liberation. Then the fourth one is Gunatita Lakshanam or Sadhana, which is mentioned from sloka number 21st up to 27. From Saguna Ahankara, how to become Nirguna Sakshi. When you hear this, naturally you feel curious to know. Arjuna got curious and he posed 3 questions. Arjuna vacha kairlinge trin gunanetan atito bhavati prabhu kimachara katham chetan trin gunanati vartate. Those 3 questions were Gunatita Lingam. What are the lakshanas of Gunatita? Gunatita Acharaha. How a Gunatita transacts, how he conducts himself in the day-to-day world. Gunatitasya sadhanam. What is the method so that one can become Gunatita? Gunatita Linga means a Gunatita is one who has no attachment, no abhimana towards his body, mind, sense complex. He looks at his own body, mind, sense complex objectively. As he is looking at this very world objectively, he also looks at his body, mind, sense complex objectively. That is different from me. This very objectivity makes all the difference. He clearly knows he is different from the body, mind, sense complex. Therefore, any issue with the body, mind, sense complex will not trouble a Gunatita, a Jnani. That means he is not negligent towards the body, mind, sense complex. He does whatever is required, but he doesn't pamper the body, mind, sense complex. So, Gunatita Lingam is looking at the very body, mind, sense complex as different from the body. That is, looking at this body as witnessing consciousness. That is called Gunatita Lingam. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the senses. This kind of objectivity is called Gunatita Lingam. Gunatita Acharaha. How a Gunatita behaves. Gunatita behaves that pair of opposites. Gunatita transcends the pair of opposites. In this world, all 3 gunas are must. So, a Gunatita or a Jnani, he maintains balance, he maintains equality and equanimity in everything. Sama dukkha sukha swastaha, sama loshtasma kanchanaha, tulya priya priyo dhiraha, tulya nindatma samstutihi. Sukha dukkha, priya and apriya, ninda and stuti, mana and avamana, shatru and mitra are same for him. This is what we call sarvatra samadarsanam. Gunatita acharaha, how a Gunatita conducts is, he conducts himself with samatvam, with sarvatra samadarsanam, and he is free from bandham. He will enjoy that bandha vimukti. Gunatitasya sadhanam, how to become Gunatita. How to become Gunatita. Bhagavan has given a simple answer. He said that you can become Gunatita by Ananya Bhakti. Bhakti is having 3 stages. That is Karma Rupa Bhakti, Upasana Rupa Bhakti, Jnana Rupa Bhakti. Karma Rupa Bhakti is again 2 types. Sakama Karma Rupa Bhakti, Nishkama Karma Rupa Bhakti. Then Upasana has got 2 stages. Ekarupa Ishvara Upasana, Anekarupa Ishvara Upasana. Then Jnanam is Atma Jnanam, which is having 3 components, Sravadam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. So all these together called Bhakti. avyabhichara bhakti. This is what Paramatma used. That means unflinching bhakti. Then this unflinching bhakti means a bhakti without any kind of dilution. So one must grow from sakama karma bhakti to nishkama karma bhakti. From there he has to go to upasana, that is ekarupa Ishvara upasana, Ishtadeva upasana. From Ishtadeva upasana to Aneka Rupa Ishvara upasana or Viswarupa Ishvara upasana. From there, he has to go to a Srotriya Brahmanishta and acquire Atma Jnanam through Shastram and Guru. And he has to stay in that Nishta, and that is called Bhakti Parakashta. So, this is the sadhanam, this is the method, the bhakti is the method. So, if you perform all this meticulously, then you understand that you are Nirguna Brahma and your Swarupam is Amrutam, Avyayam, Saswatam, Dharmam and Anandam. So, Paramatma mentioned that to acquire Nirguna Brahma Jnanam, you have to go through all the 5 stages of bhakti and you can become Gunatita Jnani. With this, we have completed this chapter. In the next class, I will take up the 15th chapter titled Purushottama Prapti Yogam. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamast. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudatyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.